The producer is planning the contents of CDs consisting of a sequence of exactly 5 instrumental pieces. R, S, T, V, W. To create and sustain certain woods, the sequence of pieces will satisfy the following constraints. S must be earlier than V. So from there we're going to put S before V. And then from there, I'm just going to go make sure it's 5 pieces. So just put the number 5. Next condition is going to be T must be either earlier than both R and S. So we're going to see T before must be earlier than R and S. So let me just go ahead and put this variables in here real quickly. R. And then we're going to put S. Or later than R and S. So T must be earlier than R and S, or it could be later than R and S. So the way I would represent this, just go back to the diagram if I could just see the dot. I'm going to go ahead and put another item here. Then I'm going to put R here. Ugh, sorry about the R. So now I have T before R and S, or T after R and S. The next condition is going to be W must be either earlier than both R and T. So now we're communicating about W. So W, I will put W right here. And the condition is going to state that W must be either before R and T or later than R and T. So with that information, I'm just going to go ahead and draw it in there again, just the same way I did. So if I could visually just put the diagonal angles here. And I'm going to go ahead and put in the R. And the other letter is going to be T. See if I can be quick about T. So now I have W, and it must be earlier than R and T, or it must be after R and T. And with these 3 conditions right here, I have separated with the lines in between. So we're going to have 3 conditions. One, the 5 pieces could appear in which one of the following sequences on the CD in order from first to last. So S has to be before V, so go ahead and look for that real quickly. And if you can see that the numero or letter D has B before it, so go ahead and remove it. T has to be before or after R and S. We see that it's in between, so go ahead and remove it on choice A. Okay, so far we see that's in between, so go ahead and move it in choice E. So now at least with B and C. W has to be after R and T. So we see it's at the end, that's okay. We see W is between, so let's go ahead and remove it. Process elimination leads us to choice B. So go ahead and choose B. With that being said, you want to go ahead and use that correct piece game board to go ahead and fill in the right information. And now we have it right now where it's going to be in a position where if we want to, we could refer back to this world right now. And in this world, this is going to be what we consider a proper answer. And by proper, I mean sufficient, because this information is considered accurate. So we can go ahead and use this piece right here. And this is going to be number 1 right now. Let me go ahead and remove this last one. Number 2, if S is in the 4th piece on the CD, then which one of the following must be true? So this is going to be the 4th piece right here. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put a letter S, and I'm going to draw it in. So in this game board, you're going to see that the letter S is going to be on the 4th set. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that it meets the conditioning rules. And I know S has to be before B, so no matter what, B is going to be after it. Now, our S have to be what you consider before or after T. So we already see R here, so let's go ahead. I mean S, so let's go ahead and put R. I'm going to have T. And then I'm going to put W. Now, with this world that I created, it meets the standards of all conditions. And with this rule also, you're going to able to do what considered is a coin flip, where the R and S is after T, so that's going to be okay, and R and T after W. So this is kind of actually solid right now, so you're not going to be able to do anything else. So in this world, this is going to be it. So this is going to be kind of like a must be true, because there's no other way out of it. It's kind of isolated. R is earlier on the CD than W, so we don't see that. So go ahead and remove it. If you can see, to make it quicker, is earlier, is earlier, is earlier, is earlier is all the choices. So S before T, don't see it, remove it. T before R, do see it, pick it. Just in case, I'm just going to keep on going, just make sure these answers are false. V earlier than W, don't see it. W is earlier than T. So both of these answers are we consider in play, where T is before R and W is before T. W has to be before R and T has to be before R and S. So does W is earlier than T? Is T earlier than R? Just to double check real quickly, if I could, let me see if I can make this one work out with the both of these answers work out. Let me see if I could just change this information right here about W. I mean about the T and R. So now I created another world where it's WRT. Now I create a second world where it's kind of rearranged, but it still meets the conditions. And the reason why I created the second world is because I had 2 options here that met both these conditions. And instead of just choosing the first one, I wanted to make sure. So it says T is earlier than R. So if you look, T is earlier than R on both worlds. And the second one, this choice says W is earlier than T. If you look at the second world, T is actually earlier than W. So this one is true in both worlds, so it must be true. So go ahead and choose C, and the answer is C. T is earlier on the CD than R. Question 3. If R is in the first piece on the CD, then which one of the following could be true? So let me go ahead and use world 2, and I'm going to do what I consider a coin flip. And what a coin flip is, it's going to be where you just flip the letters to another letter that's above it. So just like that, just did a coin flip for those two. W, S, V. And this world that I just created, where it's RTWSV, you will see that it meets the condition. Let's see if this is okay right now. Just this world. T is in the second. We see that to be true. V is in the third. We don't see that. W is in the third. We do see that. S is in the fourth. We see that as well. T is the last piece. We don't see that. So I have A, C, and D where it works out. Let me just make sure that I'm going to go ahead and do another world just to make sure that it meets the condition where R is going to be first. So we're going to put R here. And what I want to see if I can go ahead and do a flip that I can see where I can flip the variable. So R and T have to be S and V. So what I can do here, I could put the letter S in second place. Now I'm gonna put T on a side that this place right here, and then I'm gonna make sure that the W is on the outside of R and S, and I'm gonna put the letter V here just because V has to be after S or S before V. So now I created two worlds where R is in the first spot in number 3, and in both of these worlds created, they meet the conditions. So let's go ahead and see the last process elimination for the 3 A, C, D. So T is in second. We don't see that anymore in the second world. W is the third. We don't see that. And S is fourth. We don't see that anymore. So I created 3 worlds right now. And let me see just all 3 of them just real quick to see if I can meet the standards. S before V meets. RS has to be before FT. We see that T's in the middle. So I'm just going to cross out this world that I created because it's no good. So RS that we see. RT before or after W. So these 2 worlds that I created, it does work out. So let's see. Right now, I see that S is in the second spot. So let me see if S is number 4. So S, they're saying no. So let me go ahead and see if I can see if it's true or not. I'm just going to select it. T is in second. No. B is in third. That could be true. I do see it. W is in third. No. S is in fourth. No. T is the last place. No. So one thing I see is V is in we said third position. So answer B. V is in the third piece on the CD. Hopefully that's helpful. If you see a mistake or an error where it's none of the choices available, that you create another world and then apply the condition to all of the worlds instead of just doing one at a time. That way you can just cross off and move on quickly as possible to the answer choices. So for this question, I'm going to read it. If T is the second piece on the CD, then which of the following could be true? So here I have T as the second piece. And for those of you guys who see, I'm going to go ahead and circle it. And you see how T is in the second set. So I'm going to show you guys what a kind of a switch is here. Where you can do something in this manner. Where if you switch R and V, the conditions will still be the same and the game will still be true. So in this world, we can do a switch with R and V. And this is kind of like the symbol for switching it. For this world, we're not going to do a switch because S has to be before V, because if you look at the condition, it has to be. So let's go ahead and see if we can answer this question with these world that we created for question number 4. S is the first piece in the CD. You can see it's W for number 4. And for those of you guys can't see it, I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to write down 4, and you see that W is first, so we're going to eliminate. R is the first piece. You see it's not. Actually, S is the first piece. See, it's not. R is the first piece. See, it's not. V is the third piece. You see, it's not. W is the fourth piece. You see, it's not. R is the last piece. You see, it's not. See the switch here? What that switch means? That it could be RV or it could be VR, and it will still mean the same. So go ahead and choose E because it is possible with the switch. And that switch there saves you some time to do in another world. So hopefully that makes you a bit quicker on the logic game by knowing the switch symbol, right? Question 5. I don't recommend doing it like this. The first and second piece on the CD is listed in order. could be. So this is for question 5. I wrote down the choices A, B, C, D, E. So right now we know that S is going to be before V. So R, the first choice, is not going to work because if V is in second, then S is going to go after, which is against the first condition. So go ahead and eliminate that. And as you eliminate it, just go ahead and move out the game board just to make sure that we don't interfere with it. So right now it's saying R, W. We already know that W cannot be in between R and T. So go ahead and eliminate choice 2, which is B. And while you're doing that, you're going to go ahead and move on. S and T. Right now we know that T cannot be in between S, R. So just go ahead and eliminate that. And as you eliminate, just make sure that the board and the answer choice matches. T and W. So what I was told that W cannot be in between T and R. So go ahead and eliminate that. And as you can tell, process of elimination brought us to one choice. And if you're looking for what you would consider a interdisciplinary approach where you use two methods instead of just relying on one method to get the correct answer, notice how it goes WS. So far so good. Nothing's violated, everything's in order. So there's your interdisciplinary two methods, process of elimination, and also using RR, the rules and regulation. With the rules and regulations, it's going to be on the right hand side, and it's kind of like the information that it has to obey by. So I'm going to go ahead and write down the RR, which is kind of considered rules, regulations, which kind of is the conditions that governs the information. So the two methods would be process of elimination and RR. And for the process of elimination, you might hear it as P, O, and the last letter is going to be E. P for process, O for of, E for elimination, and I use RR for rules and regulation, which is the conditions. Answer for this question is going to be E, W, and S. The two methods we use to get this one is going to be considered process of elimination and the rules and regulation. Make sure that the last answers match, obeys with these conditions, or these conditions is okay for this information to be correct. For question 6, if V is in the second plate, he's in the city, which of the following could be true? So I want to go put V in second position here, and I bolded it for number 6. So all we have to do is just simply fill it out. We already know that S has to be before V, so that kind of minimizes the information right now. So now we only have 3 letters left. So we kind of narrow it down 3 out of 5. So let's make sure everything else meets the standards, where R has to be before. So we're going to put R here. And I'm also going to put R here just for right now. Now I'm going to put T here. And then I'm going to put W in this world. Now for this world, it worked out. RTW. Just to make sure that I'm going to go ahead and just fill it in. W. And now I'm going to make sure that it works out here as well, where the W is going to be between the V and R. And then I'm going to put T here. And according to the conditions, these two worlds that I created right now do meet the standards of being able to answer this question. So with these two worlds, I want to go ahead and put V in the second piece. Now let me answer these questions, which could be true. W is the first C. No. We see the letter S. S is in the third. No. T is in the third. No. R is the fourth. We see that. R is the last piece. We don't see that. The only thing we see is that R is in the fourth. So we're going to choose that answer. Answer D. R is in the fourth piece on the CD. Question 7. If W is the first piece on the CD, then which of the following cannot be true? So I'm going to look for another world or a previous world where I see W is in the first piece. And I see it right here. So let's go to use number 4 as the world. So if I see it, I see it. T is third. No. V is third. No. S is fourth. I do see that. And this question is going to be cannot be true. So I do see that in this world S could be fourth. So that is, it could be true. V is in third. However, I don't see T is in third place though. That I do not see right off the bat. So it says cannot be true. So for W in the first piece, T is going to have to be in the second piece for both worlds. So with T being in second place for both worlds, that means that's not going to be allowed in choice in slot 3. So go ahead and choose spot 3 and go ahead and choose that answer. And it's going to be answer, it's going to be A. T is in the third piece. So that's going to be it for the logic game, first one for Prep Test 73. Let's see how well we did. For the first game, we were able to get all 7 questions correct. Quick review. We got the first question correct with answering using the conditions, and we were able to come up with the first one. And then we saved that world. We went on to question 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then that last question we were able to use the previous world in 4 to answer it. So hopefully that one helped out. If this logic game helped you out, please subscribe so I continue making more. At a business symposium, there is exactly 5 speakers. L, M, X, Y, Z. Each speaker will give one speech in either the G or the R room. In each room, there will be exactly one speech at 1 p.m. and one speech at 2 p.m. And one of the rooms yet to be determined, there will be also a speech at 3 p.m. The schedule of speeches is constrained by the following. Speech must be earlier than L and in the same room. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and put a number. And then I'm going to go ahead and put what you consider a... So with the first condition is L before L. And if you guys had trouble seeing the visuals diagrams, just go ahead and look here, and they have a visual representation. So let's go and look for it in the first question. Which one of the following could be the speeches given in each room listed in the order in which they occur? So we already know that M needs to be before L and it has to be in the same room. So far, we don't see it in this one, so go ahead and eliminate it. And we also don't see it in this room as well, so we go and eliminate it. So we eliminated 3 choices right now with that condition. Second condition is going to state neither X nor Y speech can be earlier than Z. So what I'm going to do with this information is I'm going to have to put Z in a position where it's going to be after Y, because they're saying basically that neither X nor Y can be earlier than Z. So basically that's going to say that... So for the second condition, I have the contradiction, which they're saying neither X nor Y speech can be earlier. So instead of writing what you consider X, Y in that position, So instead of putting x and y in front of z and then crossing it out, I'm just going to go ahead and do the opposite, or the contradiction what it's saying. Because usually with a condition, you can always get another hint or another idea. So this is saying that z has to be earlier than y and x. So let's go and look for it really quick and apply it. So we're looking for z, and we're looking for it to be earlier than y and x. This has x before z, so go ahead and eliminate it. This has z in a position where it's before y. So let's go and, so right now we have two choices right now, A and C. So this would be a third condition. Hopefully this condition right here goes ahead and settles the whole entire lot. If L speech is in the go room, so if G has the go room and L is in there, then X and Z speech must be in the R room. So I'm gonna go ahead and put R, and then I'm gonna go put X, Z, and I'm gonna put some symbols on there, see if it helps out. For this one, I'm gonna go ahead and draw the rainbow. It's gonna show that it can be going back and forth, meaning that it doesn't have to be necessary like X before Z. It could be Z before X, but they have to be in the go room. So this is gonna be considered the third condition. So if L is in the go room, then R is gonna be in the X and Z is gonna be in the R room. So let me go ahead and look for it real quickly. Hopefully that'll be better information on what I'm trying to say right now. So if G is in the go room, which if L is in the go room, which I see in both, then X and Z have to be in the R room, and X is in the go room. So go ahead and eliminate choice C. So an interdisciplinary approach, what I would do is give you two methods, and in interdisciplinary it means using two methods to solve a single problem. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and do a process of elimination, which we just did right now. And the process of elimination is going to be known as POE. And that way you get through the correct answer, which we did. This is how we got to the right answer. Or you could do the rules of regulation. These are the rules of regulation, and apply it to this one right here. If you see it, it should take less than 5 or 10 seconds. M before L, which we see. Z before X and Y. And G's in the go room, or if L's in the go room, then Z and X and Z is in the R room. So that's two methods right there that you can use to get the correct answer, to feel more confident, more where you consider positive about the answer being correct. And the answer for this question is going to be A, ML in the go room, Z, X, Y in the R room. Copy that down because we may have to use this correct piece in the future. Question 9. Which of the following pairs of speeches cannot be given at the same time? Too soon to be answering these questions at the moment, so go ahead and skip this for now. 10. If X speech is at 3 p.m., so I'm going to go ahead and put X speech at 3 p.m. in this world right now. Which of the following cannot be true? So I'm going to go ahead and fill out the rest. Question 10. If X speech is at 3 p.m., which of the following cannot be true? I'm going to go ahead and create two worlds where X is going to be at 3 p.m. And I'm going to try to solve, put this in a position where everything meets the standards as quickly as possible. And I'm going to put M before L. Z has to be before Y and X. So I'm going to put Z here just to make sure that's before Y and X. I'm also going to put Z in the middle just to make sure that I have something different. And they're saying if G's in the gold room, so that's only if G's in the. I'm sorry, I keep on saying that. If L's in the gold room, and I'm gonna go ahead and put those two symbols in there. Question 10. If X is in this 3 p.m., which one of the following cannot be true? So I went ahead and create two worlds where X is in the third position. And as you can see that I'm going to go ahead and isolate it. Usually when I isolate it, that means that I'm going to go ahead and distinguish it from everything else or mark it off. It can't be moved. So let's go ahead through the choices real quickly. A. Our speech is in the same room as Y. That's not true. So they're asking which cannot be true. L in the same speech with Y is not true. So that's going to be an option available. Some people like to just pick the first answer and just be satisfied with that. I really don't, because I like to actually try to get the most accurate answer the first time. So what I like to do is just to make sure that that's the correct answer. I'm just going to go ahead and just go through all of them. And it should take about 7 to 10 seconds. It shouldn't really take that long. Speech is in the same room as X. And if I can give you guys some hints or idea, it says speech is in the same room as for all the remaining questions. And if you see it, you see it. You don't, you don't. For example, M is in the same room as X. I see it here, so go ahead and eliminate it. X is in the same room as Y. I see it in the second world, eliminate it. X with Z, I see it in the second world. Y with Z, I see it in the second world. The only thing I don't see is L with Y. That's the only that I do not see, so that's the one that cannot be true. If it were true, then I will see L with Y. And I don't, so this cannot be true. L. By process eliminations, it brought you the answer A. Question 11. Which one of the following could be a complete and accurate list of the speeches given in the gold room in the order in which they are given? So it has to be in order. So let's try to use the conditions to answer this question. M before L. So go ahead and eliminate choice A because it has L before M. They're communicating about M. It has to be in the same box as L, so we don't see L here. So go ahead and eliminate choice B. M is before L, and M is in the same box as L. So this is okay for now. Y has to be after Z, and here Y is before, so go ahead and eliminate that. Z, M, L. We're communicating about in the gold room, so they're communicating about if L is in the gold room, then Z is going to be in the R room. So based on that condition, you're going to have to remove this. So process elimination, brush choice C. Rules and regulation, M before L. Z, there's no Z. If L is in the gold room, which is perfect, so we don't see X and Z. So process elimination and rules and regulation of the conditions brought out to this answer C. Go ahead and choose it. Answer C. M, Y, L is a complete and accurate list of the people who could be in that room. And just go ahead and copy that down for right now. And the reason why I'm asking for to copy it down because it works. And in case we need to refer to this again, we're going to be able to. And we could just put the letters in here between Z, X, and the last letter is going to be those 5 right there. So this will be for question 11. I wrote the correct properties and I want to fill out the bottom piece. So this is for question 11 and identified it. So we come back to this as well. So we got right now 1, 2, 3, 4 worlds right now that does work out properly for us. With this being said, with these 4 worlds, let's go ahead and move on. Question 12, if y is at y p.m., which one of the following could be true? So I put y at y p.m. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and fill this in as quickly as possible, keeping in mind the conditions. So M has to be before L. And if L is in the go room, then X and Z must be in the, what you consider the last room. And now we're going to have what you consider the, and for this world too, I'm going to go put M before L on the bottom one. Just the reason why I do it, just to have two different worlds that meet the same conditions though. That way, if the answers come up, that we have two worlds to work with. So we know if L is in the go room, we're going to have what you consider. See, so let's see if this meets the standard. So M before L, Z before Y and X, which we have to see, put Z here. Then I'm gonna put X here, and I'm gonna look at this condition really quickly about the Z before Y and X. So Z has to be earlier than Y and X. So right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and rearrange the top one, and I'm gonna go ahead and put what you considered X and Z in a position where basically I want it to be where Y and X I created two worlds, so I'm just going to see M before L. That's true on both worlds. Z before Y and X. So we're going to put Z here in first. And somehow we're going to make sure that it's at the same 1 p.m. because we don't want it to come after. If L is in the G room, then X and Z have to be in the R room. So these two worlds meet the conditions. Let's go ahead and answer this question. So this is going to be for question 12. If I see it, I see it. If I don't, I don't use these two worlds in 12. L is at 1 p.m. I see Y. I don't see L. L is at 2 p.m. I don't see L at 2 p.m. M's at 2 p.m. I see it. X at 3 p.m. I don't see X at all at 3 p.m. X at 1 p.m. I don't see X at all. The only thing I see is just M at 2 p.m. Answer, M's speech is at 2 p.m. in the go room. Let's go ahead to question 9 and answer it. Which one of the following pairs of speeches cannot be given at the same time? I went ahead and we already filled out these words, so let's go ahead and use this words. If we see it, we see it. We don't, we don't. L and Y. If I see it here. So let me see if I can highlight it. See if I can, that would be better effect. So L and Y I see here. So that is possible. L and Z I don't see. M and X I see here. And I also see here. X and Y I see here. And YZ I see here as well. The only thing I don't see is just the LZ. So I'm going to go ahead and do a process elimination. And then visually seeing that I don't see it as well, I'm going to go choose that answer. B, L, and Z. Question 13. Which one of the following is substituted for the constraint that neither X speech nor Y speech can be earlier than Z would have the same effect in determining the schedule of speeches with regards to the room and times? Basically, they're asking, with this second condition that we have right now, if we were going to remove this condition that I'm boxing in right now, what these choices between A and E would have the same impact. The way that I do this is I do a process elimination. If I see it, if I don't, I don't. For example, it says L must be at 3 p.m. We see L at 2 p.m., so just go ahead and remove it. M, speech cannot be earlier than Z. We see MZ at the same time. We even see M after Z, so go ahead and remove it. Either X or Y must be after Z. Well, it says X or Y. And with that gonna be said, that's you see that Y speech is at the same time as Z. So then you're gonna say, no, that's not gonna work out. If you look at two words at 12, you see Y and Z at the same time. So go ahead and eliminate that. It says either X or Y must be at 2 p.m. It doesn't say and, it just says or. And let's see Z at 1 p.m. You see Z at 1 p.m. is more accurate. It's between these two choices. Let's go ahead and see if we can do choice D really quickly, just because it's a substitute question. So I'm going to put what you consider X at 2 p.m. Then I'm going to put X at 2 p.m. in here, this game board. Now, we already know that it's going to be M before L. So if M before L came here, but it doesn't really say that, it doesn't really have an impact about Y and Z. It could be Z here or Y here. It just says X or Y. So, no, just because of the or symbol, it doesn't really allow it. So Z at 1 p.m. is going to be true on every single world. So go ahead and choose that one. Answer E. Z speech must be at 1 p.m. Let's go ahead and see how we did for this game and game 2. It says we had an issue with number 11. Let's go ahead and review number 11.